back in the studio with Loyce Craft, who is head of the Pastoral Ministries, and we're going to find out what's going on new in that office. So welcome, Loyce.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. It's always good to be here. I wanted to also mention, before we jump into some things that are coming up, just a few things that have already taken place. And it feels like the past few weeks we've been on kind of a whirlwind since, activities resumed,
Right.
and we've been shifting and certainly enjoying that. But in particular, there were several things that were going on with the faith communities, and that actually continued through this week. So last week, there was Green Spring Fellowship that sponsored the Stations of the Cross.
Right.
Yes, and that was done again by Green Spring Fellowship last Tuesday in the chapel. I was actually away during that event, but I've heard such wonderful
So have
things
I.
about it. Yeah, I think at least 80 people, I'm told, were actually on hand to go through and look at all those stations and to experience them and take them in. So was glad to hear that that was well supported and that people enjoyed it. In addition, the annual Maundy Thursday dramatization that Reverend Dr. Lynn Calcorf and the Village Church sponsor. Certainly that is a blessing to so many people every year. Every year. For two nights last week, and then the event sponsored by the Village Church and Dr. Calcorf ended on Friday with the Good Friday service. And so, as you know, he puts together the 7 last words,
Right. and
people are able to come and go, as they want or as they need to. And certainly, I was glad to see the support that that particular event had as well. So some really well-supported things, and then the annual memorial service. I think the last time that I was on, I mentioned that that for the first time since we had been doing the annual memorial services, we were going to have a lot of family members able to come and participate, and it was such a moving experience.
Oh, great.
We read the names. There was a few residents had requested, because we didn't have a reception this year, if we would read all of the names. And so we were able to do that, and it flowed, and we had things for the family members to take with them.
Oh, nice.
Just a little token. We had butterflies and for the women, and then these little lapel pins for the men. So it was just very touching, very moving to be able to see that we had, about 35 family members who were here. So that was good to be able to see. I think it's good. I know, I understand, and especially if it's your allergies.
Right.
I think dust and pollen are really doing a Tuesday. I was going to say Tuesday. That's my new word. It's a combination of doozy and something else. Anyway, and then the other things that I wanted to mention before I talk about the current activities are that many of the people in the faith communities know that Ruth Wagner, who was our Catholic pastoral associate, retired, and her last day was this past Friday. And I wanted to just mention that for those who don't know, a replacement, a new person has been hired. Her name is Diane Nugent, and she will be starting on May the 1st. So we're just working with the Catholic community throughout that process. They also had a person who functioned as an administrative assistant, Elizabeth Toth, who went by Lisa, and Lisa's last day was March 23rd. So several changes that are going on in the community, and lots of juggling, but certainly we are continuing the support that's needed to make sure that the faith communities, the Catholic faith community, has what it needs to be able to function. So excited about Diane coming on board on May the 1st. She's no stranger to this community. She has been volunteering for a while now, and is a Eucharistic minister, and has a special heart for just people who are sick. So that has been just really, really welcome. So again, she'll be joining us on May the 1st. So looking forward to that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that between employee health and wellness and volunteer programs, we are sponsoring Souls for Souls.
Oh, I've been seeing that
yes.
sign. Yes.
And Pastoral Ministries is just one of the locations that has a drop box for gently used shoes. So if people want to donate those shoes that will benefit so many people who need them,
right.
You can drop your shoes by Pastoral Ministries or any of the other locations that are mentioned. And then that event on April the 20th, we'll have a walk around campus.
Oh, nice.
So we're kind of leading up to that. We've been doing this since the 19th of March, and as the boxes are filled, we have a storage place, so
wonderful.
Don't feel badly. We want the shoes to overflow because that just means that we'll be able to help more people. So we encourage you to bring your shoes, your gently used shoes, and drop them off. We'd be happy to have them.
Great.
And then coming up today at 1 o'clock in the Village Square Theater, Pastoral Ministries is featuring its monthly afternoon at the movies. Our featured presentation for today is the movie Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. Featuring
very well timed.
Very well timed. Very well timed. You know, sometimes I think, how long does it take, you know, to get to that point? And certainly with so many things that are going on, like you're saying, in our world, but we encourage people to come out. The movie is 2 hours and 35 minutes, but it features Idris Elba in that movie, and certainly I think that people will enjoy it. So again, 1 o'clock today in the Village Square Theater, Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. On April the 5th, we will have our monthly Faith, Grief, and Loss session. And just for people who've never been there, those sessions are small, they're very intimate, and it gives residents the opportunity to talk about, to share, you know, whatever's on their hearts. And certainly I think we've mentioned before that it can be the loss of a loved one, or it could be something else that you've lost that, you know, that you're struggling with. So any kind of loss, any, you know, thing that you're grieving over, we all go through these grieving processes. So
animate or inanimate.
And that's right. And so we have to deal with them. I think the worst thing that we can do for ourselves is pretend that they don't exist.
Right.
Because they do manifest in some form or fashion. And then also on Thursday, April 5th, we're having the Garden Ridge biannual memorial service. Many of these things that would have already taken place have been delayed. So this event would have taken place in February, but it will take place on Thursday, April 5th at 2:30 in the Garden Ridge meeting room. So we encourage people, we want people to come out and support that. Certainly all of the friends and all of the neighbors that are a part of our lives. And then on April the 24th at 7 o'clock, Green Spring Fellowship is featuring a movie entitled Breathe, and I brought their flyer, and I just want to read just really quickly what that movie is about. It's a 2017 biographical drama film. It tells a story of Robin Cavendish, who became paralyzed from the neck down by polio at the age of 28. Robin was initially expected to live only 3 months. With the support of a loving wife and community, he goes on to become one of the longest living polio survivors in Great Britain. He also became a pioneering advocate for disabled. He and his devoted wife, Diana, travel the world with hopes of transforming the lives of others like him. And the movie is 117 minutes in length, and it will have subtitles. So that sounds like a really good movie if you have time in your schedule to be able to see on Tuesday, April the 24th at 7 o'clock. That movie will be featured. And again, it's based on a true story. It'll be in the Village Square Theater.
Okay.
So it just sounds like a really, really good movie to see.
Yes.
And in the time that we have left, I want to mention two things. We are also observing Passover this week, and the Jewish community tonight at 5:30 in Hunters Crossing Conference Center is having a Passover Seder. And I'm blessed to be able to go, and I think several of us are going to participate and support that. And the last thing is that this is the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So I know that people are planning events in so many places, and I want to just encourage people to remember his legacy and all that he's brought to this this world, and that the dream, the desire lives on. I think it's a good way to put it, that we want to have freedom. We want to treat each other with love and with care.
One of those echoes that comes down through the years.
That's right, and we continue it.
It needs to continue.
Absolutely.
Right.
But that's it for us for right now.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sounds like everything is moving rather quickly
It
and rather
is.
smoothly,
It
really.
is.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.